All right, we are a go. And as usual, this is Toonkind at 12 FPS, and today's episode is When's a Good Time? I am one of your two, what's the word? Host, one of the two hosts, the mighty Quinn, and I'm playing a brand new character by the name of Raymundo vs. Libre. And joining me today is...
VB, Vegan Bear, Vegan of the Bears. I, too, am here with a brand new character named Luci Time. Chaotic little... Well, not really chaotic, but little time rabbit.
Right. Today, our setting is... Picture, if you will, a... brain words.
Would you like me to take over?
Sure. I don't know what I'm doing.
So. We haven't even decided where it is. Okay, so all we know is library. So anyway, we open up our scene within the library. Yes, the wizard's favorite place. Books ripe with knowledge. Each page containing wisdom of the years. And Raymundo, you're around lurking within the books. And what exactly are you searching for?
Well, Raymundo's thing is that he is a divination wizard, but his personal flavoring is that he has a gift for seeing the future, and it has done all sorts of horrible, terrible things to his anxiety. So he's trying to figure out how to better understand it, kind of, because he's not sure. He's heard some stories that when someone sees the future, they see possible futures, and that means there's also ways to change it, or ways to see the different possibilities? Question mark? He has no idea what he's doing, but he's hoping that the nearest library might have some information that he does not know. So he went looking. And now he's here trying to figure out where the heck the time section is, if there is one.
The time section. Well, I wouldn't say there's really a section dedicated to it. Some of the books are sprinkled around, so you really gotta go searching for them. But
yeah, the closest he probably gets is finding a section dedicated to divination, but that's everything from, if you squint really hard at this piece of glass, you might see something to, this is what happens when a vision shows up.
Well, you'll never know. Is it a finger stain, or if it's an actual vision? You'll never know.
Is there too much soggy stuff at the bottom of your cup, or is there a secret message hidden in there somewhere? No one knows, least of all you.
Okay, so if you want to make an investigation check to see how well you are finding these time books.
That sounds good.
And I'm going to make one as well.
Yeah. A 12.
Oh, so what's the command? Is it the same?
If you've hit your character's sheet to Avery, you can type it in. Otherwise, you just do exclamation mark, then D20 plus whatever modifier you're using.
Awesome. Okay, so dang, what did I do wrong?
I think you need to add a 1 in front of that D20 just to say how many.
Hold on. Okay, 1d20 plus 4.
Why are you being confusing? Let me try. Oh, duh. Let me
Avery,
test.
do you not like me?
I'm gonna roll with what you put there. There we are. You type in exclamation point roll, then 1d20 plus the modifier. Here, take what I've rolled for you. It's probably helpful.
So 17. 17 works. So you rolled a 12, and I rolled a 17. So, Raymundo, you were able to cherry pick out a few books. You found a few that talk about time, like splitting timelines, how there's the possibility of different futures and stuff like that. And
there's one book in there about the possibilities of alternate realities, and he's like, okay, this mentions time, I'll grab that too. He doesn't know what he's grabbing.
As you continue grabbing around, you find one in particular, and just before you grab it, a little arm leaps up, snags it from the shelf, and just plops down.
He jumps a bit at that, like, oh, shoot, there's someone there. He kind of snaps his attention to where the hand went.
With you jumping, that also does scare the person that was right next to you, and they also kind of get a little bit defensive. You notice that, okay, I'm going to tell you this, you notice that the fur at the end of their arm does rise a little, and you see a little bit of cackling electricity.
He meets at that and shrinks despite his incredible height.
He somehow shrinks to be very small.
You don't know how a 7-foot man can manage that, but boy howdy, is he trying.
So the person that is now in front of you, well, less person, more rabbit, they are a small little rabbit folk. It's very obvious they're not Toonkind. And they have odd markings upon them, being black and white. And, whew. Okay, so, the little rabbit, noticing that, she managed to scare you more than you scared her, kind of waves the electricity away and is like, I'm incredibly sorry, I didn't actually mean to scare you.
No, it's fine. I spook easy. Hello?
No, I get that. I understand being able to be spooked so easily. My name's Luci. And she extends a hand.
And Raymundo stares at it for a moment before very carefully adjusting the books in his arms and very carefully grabbing Luci's and giving a hesitant shake. And goes, Raymundo, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Raymundo. Don't worry. It's not gonna shock you. And I'm going to make a quick observation check.
That would be either perception or insight, I believe.
Perception. I meant perception.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because both of them are technically observations. It's just one about the area around and the other about the person in specific.
Okay, 16. So with a 16, Luci kind of bends her head a little bit and notices the book that you're holding, and you see her ears kind of like perk up. She fluffs up a little bit and is like, "Wait, are you studying time too?"
I think for 16, I'm actually going to give you a bit more.
Oh.
You see that, yes, this guy is roughly 7 feet tall. Roughly. Which is unusual considering, he's also obviously a half-toon, which you don't see very many of those, so that's a neat thing to make a note of. And he's 7 feet... Yep. And he's roughly 7 feet tall, which is unusually tall for anyone who's half-human, and he looks to be half-human. You're pretty sure he's half-human. So 7 feet in height is unusual. Not that unusual for toons, because they get insanely tall, and I'm sure you know this. And he's got messy clothes. Now. Yeah, he's got messy clothes and fairly neat clothes in all shades of purple, but some of it you probably noticed with that 16 are a bit worn in spots, so they're old loved clothes that he's probably kept and continued wearing for a very long time.
Interesting.
He's also got really, really big bags under his eyes. Like, this man looks like he needs a nap.
Luci can relate to that.
I guess it's my turn to do a perception.
Yeah, go ahead. Make a perception or an insight. Go.
I'm gonna go with perception. 14!
Ooh, 14.
Above average.
So, indeed, above average. As stated before, it's a rabbit with black and white spots. What more can I say about her? There's not too many details about her that stick out. You do notice that she has a bit of a time theme going on with her outfit being made up of Roman numerals and her having a bit of a little clock headband. She also wears a lot of purple clothing. And her clothes is a lot more nicer looking. They definitely look a lot more delicate and well looked after.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, you were saying things about books.
Indeed, she does notice the books that Raymundo is carrying, and her ears perk up, she fluffs up a little, and is like, "Whoa! You're studying time too?"
He glances at the books and goes, kind of, divination is my, specialty, kind of, and I end up, I tangle with time a lot.
Oh! Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. Kind of. It's not really divination, you know. It's much more chronergy, where you directly affect time and stuff like that.
You can affect time?
A little bit. It's a delicate art. I've been studying for 3 years, kind of ish. It's a hard skill to master, really.
I can imagine. And he looks really, really curious and thoughtful, and you've definitely snared his attention. You're not sure what specifically you said that has snared his attention, but you're fairly certain that you've snared his attention.
Gee whiz. Could I roll an insight?
Go for it.
I'm gonna roll an insight on what specifically caught his attention and what I said.
Let's see how this goes.
You're not gonna be evil, are you?
I won't. It depends.
Not one. No.
Well, time is really interesting. It's not often people get kind of tangled with it. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. Divination's usually about looking through time or trying to find things. So yeah, it makes perfect sense that he's interested.
Yeah.
I'd kind of like to hear about that. I noticed there was a cafe next door we could talk at.
Ooh, yeah. We can do that. Maybe we could also exchange a little bit of knowledge with each other. You know?
And he nods a bit. He's still very nervous, but considering you immediately clocked him as having anxiety, that makes sense. But he does nod a bit, and he seems interested.
All right. I can pay for it. Come on.
Oh, well, all right. all right. And he just kind of politely waves an arm, still balancing a stack of books.
Boy.
And
do you need help with that?
He glances at the stack and goes, no, I don't think so. Long arms, I can carry them, all right.
All right. I'll believe you for now. She casts Mage Hand to carry majority of her other books that she's also gathered around.
And if she's taking lead, he'll trail along behind her.
She is indeed taking a bit of a lead as she's kind of turning back towards him and is like, so tell me a bit about yourself.
I started traveling recently to learn more magic. My hometown is small. Not much to study there.
I get it. Search for knowledge.
And he gives a slight smile and goes, yeah.
Hold on, blinking.
Words hard.
Words are indeed hard. So what have you found during your travels?
World's big.
Oh, it is indeed. Don't worry, I get lost multiple times myself.
And he kind of looks at you for a minute, and I guess roll insight again.
Alrighty, get another insight check.
Oh. 17. You got significantly better. You realize after you said that when he said the world was big, he wasn't talking about getting lost. He mentions from a small town. You think he meant the world had a lot more stuff going on compared to home. He's not used to how busy and clustered and varied and full of things the world is outside of his hometown.
Oh! Well, yeah, I guess when you're kind of first coming out into the world, it seems so like big and wow, there's so many things all around. Like, look, there's knowledge. But I guess it just kind of comes down to focusing at one thing at a time.
Yes. That's it.
So I see you're kind of studying alternate universes, splitting timelines. What is this voice I've devolved to?
I don't know, but I love
it. Anyway, continuing.
He glances down at the books again, grabbing as much stuff that was time related just because I wasn't sure what connected to the specifics I had in mind.
Well, what is it exactly that you're searching for? Or, well, maybe not exactly, but like, what's the generalization? Like, are you looking towards like how to change the future? Or are you learning on how to like see the future clear? Interpretation?
Well, I see it just fine. And that bit's kind of a mumble. then he kind of raises his voice a bit and says, mostly, seeing the ways it can, the way it can go.
Oh, the way it can go. So, like, what happens right now can affect the future, right?
Yeah, kinda. That's close-ish. Or, it's a little more along the lines of, um, if something's predicted, is it set then? Like cement? Or can things change?
Oh, that's a really good question. And you see, like, Luci put, like, a finger up to her chin, and she's just, like, tapping her foot, making a tuk 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 sound as she's thinking, like, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
She shrugs, like, I I don't really know. I believe in the fact that it is possible to change the future, but also kind of what I've learned over learning chronology. Anyway, that you kind of can't change it. I don't know. It's a little complicated. It's probably somewhere in the middle. Like, there's a certain amount of control that you can put in the present day to affect the future, but yet the future is kind of set. What you see will happen is bound to happen in one way or another.
That, I don't, even if it's something bad that you think you could change?
If it's something bad that you could change in the future, well, and Luci's ears kind of droop with that as she kind of begins to think about that on a further level.
That's why I'm looking. And he lifts his stack. He adjusts his grip on the stack of books and just repeats, That's why I'm looking. I have anxiety. It's kind of obvious. So it's easy it's easy to think of all the things that are bad that could happen. So I wondered if it was possible to change that, or I'm wording this bad. I know I am.
So what I'm understanding is that you're afraid that bad things will happen in the future and you wouldn't be able to change it.
In a way, how much do you know about divination magic?
Which divination magic?
Or
who?
Yours. Any kind. What do you know about that sort of thing?
Well, as I kind of mentioned, I'm not really much of the kind to look into the future. I'm much more of the kind to change the way that time works, even if it's just a little bit.
That wasn't quite what I meant. What do you know about divination as, to make it easier for me to explain? What do you understand about that branch?
Well, who?
Basically, what he's asking is, what does she know as the stereotyping for divination? Like, what kind of stuff pops first into the brain when you think about it?
Okay, here's the thing. I would imagine that Luci knows a little bit more about divination due to the fact that divination and chronergy are a little bit similar with each other. But I myself have not actually looked much into divination. So,
well,
all that I could personally say is looking into the future, so.
Well, it's looking into the future and finding connections. Like, as example from the spell books that I was showing earlier, detect magic and identify, for example, along with locate object, are all divination magic. That's not looking into the future. That's looking into where something is, figuring out where it is at this current point.
Very interesting.
Yes, and as our lovely audience member points out, it's also a school of magic, reading the future for things like tarot, bones, dice, spirit boards, dreams, and so on.
Yes, indeed.
So that's
here's your daily D&D lesson, kids.
But that's kind of what he means when he said. But it's mostly the looking into what the future is that he kind of meant, not what is possible or that, but looking into it and using tools to see it.
All right, so he's trying to use tools to look into the future.
Well, he's asking if that's what she thinks of.
I'm gonna make an intelligence roll for her. Because
this is complex thought.
It is very complex. Sadly, I, the player, am too small-brained. I mean this in an affectionate way.
I have like 6 tarot decks. I am fascinated. She kind of gets that he means.
Go ahead.
She kind of gets that he means that divination is complex, but usually the standard is seeing the future. When people look into it, it's because they want to see the future. You're not sure why this is special specifically for divination wizards, but you know that this is the general thing people look at.
Luci nods along.
I'm gonna roll insight.
I'm sorry, her brain is flat. Her brain's flatlining as much as mine.
He gets 18. It. He cottons on to the fact that she has no idea what he's talking about.
And she's trying.
His shoulders sag for a moment, and he goes, "All right, when you study divination seriously, as well as have a talent for it, sometimes you actually get glimpses of the future. Without assistance, you can just see it. And I see that a lot. Too much, even.
Oh.
And I see bad things a lot. And I guess I'm trying to figure out if the reason I just see the bad things is because of my anxiety, or if it's just words. I'm wondering if the reason I'm always seeing bad things is because I'm always looking for them. And if I start trying to look intentionally for good things, I'll start seeing them more.
Well, you do say that you're not intentionally seeing all of these things. So you can't possibly be looking out for them.
Yes, but... There's something my mama used to say is that to a person with a hammer, everything is a nail. I think because I'm always thinking of what can go wrong when I look for... I call the bad possibilities to me.
Oof, you're cutting out really badly for me.
Basically what he said is that when he was what Raymundo said was that when he was little, his mom used to give this saying of, to a man with a hammer, everything is a nail. And he's basically interpreting that as, because he has anxiety, he's always subconsciously looking for, expecting something bad to happen. So when his magic kicks in to show him glimpses of his future, he's subconsciously geared towards seeing bad things over seeing good ones. So he's trying to find a way to kind of work around that to see more good things, or find ways of actually either averting or finding good things in the bad things that he sees. It's like when someone pulls the death card in tarot. Your brain immediately, the standard thing is always, oh no, it's the death card, someone's going to die. When no, it just means that one stage of life is ending so a new one can start. It's complex.
It very much is, and I'm trying to figure out what it would be Luci's response to that, because this is very much a complex subject.
Time is complicated, man.
Life is indeed complicated, especially when you're two wizards that can see the future. Well, one can see the future, another one can control it, but...
She's just learning that, oh, anxiety can factor into your magic. That's a possibility I've never considered.
Well, I mean...
I'm sorry.
It's a little No, you're good, you're good. I guess it's a little obvious with the fact that Luci is a little bit speechless here. She's trying to find the best words for the situation.
Yeah. He knows this is a complex subject. There's a reason he was in a library specifically looking stuff up about it.
It's flatlining, oh no.
Oh no. The brain has stopped working. The brain has decided to vacate the premises.
It just went, no, not dealing with this. Okay, so I think Luci, kind of, she doesn't want to be mean, but, like, she does tell Raymundo, how about you find a seat? I'll come to you shortly with a drink. Is there anything you want?
I like sweet things.
Ooh, I'll ask for something sweet for you. Do you want a drink or, like, something to eat?
Drink is fine.
Oh.
So he ends up looking around the cafe because we have obviously in this period of time gotten from the library to the cafe literally right next door.
I'd imagine that they kind of like stopped at the doorway to the cafe and started talking about anxiety.
Yes, anxiety.
And then they remembered, oh yeah, we're in a public setting.
Oh yeah, this is a doorway. People need to go through it.
Poor people behind us. Oh.
Raymundo probably gives an apologetic wave before skittering to like a booth in the back.
Fair. So Luci goes up, she orders 2 drinks, and she goes back to Raymundo. Not fully sure on what she'd order for him, so I'll let you decide. But she has a little bit of a caramel latte.
Well, usually I've noticed a lot of cafes have hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate's good.
A simple hot chocolate. Nothing, no fancy bells and whistles, probably because she didn't know what to ask for.
She definitely asked for marshmallows. Who doesn't like that?
Everybody loves marshmallows.
So yeah, you get fancy little marshmallows with your hot cocoa.
So he takes it and he looks thankful, but he's also he's got a little bit of a face of, yeah, I know, it's hard, it's complicated, I know.
Hmm.
This is, funnily enough, an actual feat that comes with being a divination wizard. One of the things you can do is roll, after a long rest, is roll 3 d20s, and then they're basically predictions for the day. You can swap, or at least one check or save or attack with those, but you only get 3, and it's a very fascinating mechanic. I've never tried it, but it is fascinating.
Hold on. That is a very interesting mechanic indeed. Luci has a similar feature to of that, but it's called Chrono Shift, which basically, as the description says, she gets a limited control over time in which one roll, which she sees the result of, she can actively choose to have them re-roll, and they have to use the second roll, regardless if it succeeds or fails.
Yeah, with the divination wizard, you have to basically swap the rolls before they're made. So someone can't roll bad and then you say, no, you actually have this. You have to basically say, and instead of you rolling for it, you use this roll that I already made. Because then it's predicting the future. You already know that this roll is going to be made. You don't know what modifiers are going to go with it or what, but it is the one that has been made. Therefore, you have a limit of 3, and it's almost like a spell slot thing. You have 3, and once you use 1, it's gone. It also, however, unlike spell slots, it's one of those, once you take another long rest, you lose the 3 rolls that you'd made, and you have to make new ones.
Interesting.
Yes. Very.
I think Luci, she thinks for a while, trying to figure out what best would help Raymundo. Her ears perk up for a short while, and she's kind of like ruffling through her bag, and she pulls out a book that's called Interpreting the Future. I'm not sure on how much this might help, but I think from what I've heard from you, this may be something.
Well, he very carefully takes the book and flips through it, Interpreting the Future. So, is this like a symbolism book? Or
yeah, I think it goes much more into a bit of symbolism.
That's probably helpful because, whenever people write characters who can see the future, it's always like 90% symbolism, 1%, oh, this is the thing that you're going to see frame by frame as it happens.
Yeah.
So he takes it and he very carefully flips through it, and you actually see him pause a little bit on some of the pages. Like he's definitely taking a moment, almost like he's kind of recognizing some of the things.
I'm also kind of going off of the original source, so understanding the original source, you probably understand why I chose to pull out this book.
Yeah, but he kind of pauses and goes, this is definitely a lot more what I was thinking of. And he's continuing to flip the book. He's trying to. It's almost like he's trying to keep a half ear on you, trying to not get too sucked in as he examines the book. But you have
no. Luci understands. If you get sucked into the book, you get sucked into the book. You can't help it.
It's like the rule of wizards. The moment you get a good book, you're gone. You're gone. Unless something is exploding, you are gone.
Then you're both literally gone.
And he does stop and tear himself away for just a moment, and he looks at her and goes, You were looking at changing things, right? How do you see that?
How do I see it?
And this time he finally manages to get himself to shut it in order to focus on you for a moment so that he can say this, and goes, You said you could change it. That means you know. You know what's going to happen, but you can make it not.
Kinda. It's kind of like it's a little difficult to explain on how it happens. I guess a quick reaction, like you kind of see that it's about to happen, but then you kind of change it, like and Luci kind of begins to look around as what she could use as an example.
Like those film reels, like when you see pictures laid on top. Basically, this is me speaking from what. Have you seen that onion skin technique for when people are animating? That's kind of what he's trying to reference. You can see what is supposed to be the movement.
Oh, that's a very funky idea. I never actually thought of that.
I gift it to you. It is now something you can use.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The idea I had much more of with Luci was like the idea of like a conductor that can conduct time.
Oh.
And so it's much more with the idea that she has a bit of control over time, so she can conduct the world around her to how she wants it to happen. Granted, it's in very small doses. She can't control it too much, but it's a funky little thing she can do.
It's like looking at the sheet music, but but the conductor does a slightly different gesture than what's on the sheet. Right?
Not exactly. But I meant more as in, like, she can take control over the world, and it's like, you are going to do that? Nah, you're doing what I'm doing now. I'm the conductor, you look at me. It's much more with the idea that the conductor controls the tempo, the time, everything that happens within the music. Like, if you let the band members do whatever they want, it's going to be chaos. But as soon as they look at the conductor, they're all together. They all look at the conductor.
Okay, so she doesn't really think of, I'm looking into what could be and more. this is a thing I think that's going to happen, so I'm going to make it happen, but on my rules.
Yes.
So she doesn't exactly see what the future is. Raymundo is misinterpreting what she means.
I mean, the way that it's written now does say that she kind of knows what's going to happen, but for the sake of this, I'm going to say that, no, she just chooses to say, no, that's not happening. I'm doing what I'm doing.
Like, no, this is going to follow my rules.
So the example I wanted to bring upon in this game was that as Luci is kind of like looking around, she points out a guy that's looking down at his phone. And it's very obvious. They're unobservant. Okay, it's a bird. It's a bird about to run into a glass door because they're too busy texting. And so, Raymundo, you know they're going to crash into the door. And, Luci, she whips out her little wand, and with, the tip of it, she does a little quick flick towards it. And using her chrono shift. And exactly at that time, the crow looks up, notices the glass door they were about to run into, and enters it. Normally. And Luci looks proud of herself.
Well,
I mean, it doesn't really look like I've done much, but like, you don't really notice it in the present.
He was going to walk into it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just take an out of character moment and pretend that he actually kind of saw that before? Because I didn't actually roll the 3 d20s, okay. But can I just pretend, just for the sake of helping the story, that he had seen something like this of someone walking into something and knocking things all over. So he looked up and he recognized that that's going to be noisy, and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But he stares for a long time and goes, he's supposed to have coffee all over himself. It was supposed to hit the floor. And then very slowly...
that didn't happen!
Yeah. You can just see it on his face. You have just blown his mind. And as he turns and goes, I saw that this morning.
She just kind of does jazz hands.
You actually changed it. I didn't think anyone could change what I... And you can just do this at any time?
Well, again, as I said, it's a little bit of a difficult process. 3 years to learn how to do just that.
He would have had fresh, hot coffee spilled all over his front. Coffee's hot, especially when it's fresh. That could have been an injury, and you just stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of slumps back in his seat. He's like, amazing. That's amazing. You might have also kind of gotten the detail of he's not used to things he's seeing not happening, especially since he specified an injury just now. You might be getting some unexpected insight into, this is what he means.
Wait, should I make an insight?
I mean, if you want to.
She's kind of, because currently, in my mind, all she's doing is just sitting there happily. You see her little, bun tail wagging, and it's like, a lot of people don't tend to believe her that she's able to do that, because, people in the present don't notice it, but, a divination wizard who foresaw it, and then it didn't happen. She's just like, somebody finally noticed!
She needs you need to find more divination wizards, my dear. Clearly, if this is what she needs to, like, find some council of divination wizards to occasionally drop by and blow the mind.
She... Be wary. This rabbit blows divination minds. That's a nat one. No, she's currently just... she's just currently on cloud 9, just like, somebody finally noticed.
You've caught on that he's in awe, but that's about as much as you've caught on. And he just goes, that's amazing. I didn't even know magic like that existed. That's amazing.
Yeah, it exists. It's a little bit of a... It's a bit of a small community. I don't blame a lot for not actually hearing about it. I actually only heard it... I actually only heard it in, like, a book once. So, I mean, a very small class of wizard.
Is it difficult actually doing it?
Difficult to do it. Okay, give me a moment as a player myself, because I did not ask myself that question. Is it difficult to do this? I mean, it's difficult to master it. It definitely doesn't work out the first few times that you do it. I mean, it doesn't always work out the way I want it to. Like, sometimes I'll try and stop somebody from doing one thing, but then they still do it anyway. Because, like, I remember a few days ago, I tried to, like, try and not, like, have somebody not fall off a ladder, but they still fell off the ladder, so I mean... it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't.
And he's nodding quietly
but
at that.
To get it to work most of the time... But to get it work most of the time is a little bit something of a higher level.
I see. And he's descended into deep thought.
Just two wizards quietly sharing space with each other.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you this just because you're paying attention and you're both in the same small space. One of the reasons you pegged him with anxiety is because you've seen even though he has this long poncho type of overlayer, you could see that his shoulders were tense and they've kind of relaxed a bit. Like, just existing in a space with someone else without talking is calming, kind of.
Well, then Luci's going to allow that silence to stay between them, not really talking much, and simply letting Raymundo talk when he wishes to.
Thing is, I don't know what he's going to say now.
We're also nearing 8, so we may want to start wrapping this up. If you want to, Luci can butt in with something.
Let her butt in. My brain has stalled on topics. Raymundo's just like, I need to sit and vegetate on this.
So, Luci, she pulls out a clock in the most Alice in Wonderland way possible as she looks upon it and is like, oh, okay. So she looks upon it and is like, oh dear. Oh, it looks like I'm running a little bit short on time here, so it's been very nice to meet you, Raymundo. And she extends a hand to shake.
And by doing that, she kind of snaps him out of his revere and goes, sorry, didn't mean to take up so much of your time. It was nice meeting you.
Oh, it's fine, Luci? It's fine.
Luci, correct?
Luci. Indeed.
Well, it was nice talking to you. Maybe we'll bump into each other again sometime.
Oh, I'd love to bump in with you again.
Hopefully not literally.
Oh, maybe. If you ever want to talk with me again, I tend to stick around this area a bit, so feel free to come by the library. You'll probably find me here 90% of the time.
And he nods and goes, yeah, I'll probably stay here a while longer before trying to make my way towards one of the bigger cities. And again, I'm going to give you this. You can hear the faint tinge of anxiety because, oh, big city. People.
People. But she gives Raymundo a nod. Take all the time you need.
Yeah. I'm sorry, could you actually repeat that? I had an alarm go off at the exact same time.
She basically told him, take all the time you need.
Yeah. Because I'll try. It was nice meeting you.
It was nice to meet you too. Good luck. And with that, she skips off.
Yeah. Raymundo's probably going to stay in the cafe for a bit longer, nurse the drink, and comb through the book that Luci lent him? Question mark?
Kind of both.
It's like, he's not sure if it was lent or not, so he's probably going to stick around after he's finished reading it to return it in case it wasn't something he could keep.
Oh, she's a forgetful rabbit. I wouldn't put it past her.
But yeah, I think we covered the bases. We talked deep about time and changing it, as well as got to do some character exposition as well as abilities. So I think we covered our bases for what we wanted to hit.
Yep.
Well, since it's been exactly an hour since we started, I think it's about time we signed off.
Alrighty, tidy.
Yeah. Bye. Have a good night.
Goodbye. Stay safe or stay dangerous.
We'll figure out when we get there.
We'll figure it out.
Bye.
See you later.